The warning. No one believed. The command center of the United Federation Alliance was busy as always. Ships came and went, data flowed across glowing screens, and alien officers spoke in a dozen different languages. But in the middle of it all, one alert kept flashing. Bright red, ignored by most. It came from the edge of known space. A silent zone known as the Path. It had once been a major travel route for interstellar trade. Now it was dead space. Every ship that entered it vanished. No signals, no wreckage, just silence. The official reports called it unstable gravity anomalies, but the rumors told a different story. They called it the Death Path. A young alien officer named Lenar looked at the screen and frowned. "Another signal lost," he said, ears twitching. "This is the 5th ship in 2 weeks." An older commander behind him sighed. "Ignore it. That sector is cursed. No one goes there unless they're desperate." "But these were military scouts," Lenar argued. "They weren't desperate. They were sent to investigate." "And now they're gone," the commander replied. "Just like the others." Somewhere, across the galaxy deep within the Death Path, a single black ship drifted silently. It had no markings, no signal, no sign of life. But it was alive. Inside the ship, a human sat in the pilot chair. His name was Dan. His face was calm, but his eyes were locked onto a screen filled with red targets. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. The ship moved like a ghost, faster than light, bending space around it. It didn't fly. It hunted. Every alien ship it passed was gone in seconds. No warning, no chance to flee. Dan didn't see himself as a killer. He called it cleanup. The Death Path was not a mystery to him. It was a boundary, one set by humans long ago after the last Galactic War. No alien was meant to cross it. The aliens had forgotten. Now, they were remembering. Far away, the Galactic Council met in a massive dome on the planet Nexus. Representatives of hundreds of species argued loudly. Some wanted to send more ships. Some wanted to study the zone. Others demanded war against whoever was destroying their vessels. One voice stood alone. An elder with deep scars and gray eyes slammed his hand on the table. "You fools, that's not a void, that's a message. The humans left that path for a reason. We crossed it, we woke something up." Laughter echoed across the room. "Humans are gone," a tall lizard-like delegate hissed. "They haven't been seen in centuries." "Exactly," the elder growled. "And you still fear them." "We don't fear ghosts." "You should." Back, in the Death Path, the black ship hovered in silence. Around it, debris from destroyed alien ships floated like dust. It was done. For now. Dan looked at the screen. One word blinked. "Clear." He stood up, walked to a small panel, and opened a sealed case. Inside, a badge with a faded symbol. A human eagle. The mark of Earth's old warforce. He placed it on his chest and whispered, "They broke the line. Now they pay the price." The silence around him was deep, but the galaxy was about to hear the roar of humanity once more. The ghost from Earth, third person, simple English, chair HFY style. The council's dome was tense. Words like containment, strike force, and retaliation flew through the air. But behind the noise, fear was building. Too many ships were gone, too fast, too clean. An emergency broadcast lit up the central holo display. It was from a patrol ship stationed near the Death Path. The message was shaky, the voice panicked. "We spotted a vessel, black, silent. It moved like it was part of space itself. We tried to scan it. Nothing. Then it locked onto us." The voice gasped. Screams echoed behind him. "No time, no escape. It's human." The signal cut out. Silence fell in the council chamber. A single word hovered in the air like poison. Human. Most of the galaxy hadn't seen a real human in over 100 years. After the Great Collapse, Earth sealed itself off. Rumors said they were gone, destroyed, or hiding. Some even said they evolved into something else entirely. But now, something human was moving again. And it wasn't talking. Back on the black ship, Dan sat alone. He sipped from a small metal flask and stared at a glowing map. Hundreds of red dots blinked across the galaxy. Threats, warnings. The death path was just the beginning. He pressed a button. A low hum ran through the ship as its core recharged. He opened a comlink, one the galaxy hadn't heard in over a century. "This is Unit 01, he said quietly. "Mission boundary breached, engagement complete, awaiting further targets." There was no reply. Not from Earth, not from anyone. But the ship responded. It set a new course, toward the nearest alien military base. Dan stood and walked to a narrow wall covered in scars and symbols. Each one marked a past battle. Dozens of alien species. Hundreds of kills. He didn't hate them. Not anymore. But the rule was simple. Stay out of the path. And they broke it. Meanwhile, at the edge of the death path, a task force of alien ships had gathered. Dozens of destroyers, carriers, and drone units hovered in tight formation. They weren't there to ask questions, they were ready for war. "We will flush out whatever hides in there," the fleet commander barked. "One ship can't stop all of us." But they didn't know what kind of ship it was, or who flew it, or what it had done before. Inside the black vessel, Dan smiled as new signals came online. 50 seconds, he whispered. "That's all I'll need." He tapped a button and the ship vanished into dark space. The aliens would never see it coming, and soon the rest of the galaxy would remember why Earth was left alone for so long. The first strike lasted less than a minute. Third person, simple English, HFY style. The alien task force stood ready at the edge of the death path. 50 warships from 5 different species floated in formation, weapons charged, sensors on full scan. Their commanders were confident. They believed numbers meant victory, but confidence can't stop a ghost. The black ship appeared without a flash. No light, no sound. One moment the space was empty. The next, it wasn't. Dan sat calm in the pilot chair, eyes locked on the battlefield. His voice was steady, engaging. He didn't wait for orders. There were none left to give. He pressed. A sequence of buttons on the panel and the ship moved. Not like any ship the aliens had ever seen. It didn't fly. It slid through space, as if the laws of motion didn't matter. The moment alien sensors detected it, the ship was already inside their formation. The first cruiser exploded before its alarms even sounded. From the outside, it looked like a streak of black light passed through the ship, cutting it in half. No debris flew. The ship simply came apart. The second ship turned to fire. Too late. The black ship folded space around itself, appearing behind the alien destroyer. A narrow beam of white light shot from its hull. Silent, clean. The destroyer vanished. Panic spread. Alien commanders screamed orders. Fighters launched. Drones swarmed. Shields raised. But nothing worked. Dan wasn't attacking. He was cleaning, one target after another in a perfect pattern. No hesitation. No second shots. Inside his ship, time seemed to slow. Outside, 50 seconds passed, and in that time, 48 alien warships were destroyed. 2 fled. Not because Dan let them go, but because he ran out of fuel for his high-speed phase drive. He watched the last 2 escape into deep space, their engines overheating, their crew screaming. He didn't follow. He didn't have to. They would deliver the message. On a neutral space station far from the death path, news hit like a lightning bolt. A single ship had destroyed a full fleet. In less than 1 minute, alien media channels ran the story nonstop. Unidentified human vessel cripples Allied fleet. The path is death. Earth's ghost returns. The galaxy had forgotten what humans were capable of. Now it remembered. In the council's war chamber, the scarred elder from before stood slowly and faced the other delegates. Now, he said, will you listen? But no one spoke, because they had finally seen the truth. The death path wasn't a trap, it was a border, and humans were the ones guarding it. The message was clear: do not cross the line. Third person, simple English, HFY style. Across the galaxy, fear moved faster than light. Every species with a border near the death path pulled their patrols back. Stations went dark, trade routes shifted. Warnings were posted in every known language, but none of it mattered. The message had already been sent, in fire, in silence, in 50 seconds. The black ship drifted quietly now, hidden in deep space. Its systems hummed low. Shields were off. Weapons offline. Dan sat quietly at a console reviewing footage from the battle. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He just watched. His ship's AI voice finally spoke after hours of silence. Enemy fleet neutralized, no trace of survivors. Dan nodded. Good. That should be enough. Shall we return to Earth? Dan looked at the map again. The line was holding, for now, but more red signals blinked on the edge. Curious scouts, angry revenge ships, arrogant fools. They'll keep testing us, Dan muttered. They always do. He leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes. His mind drifted back to Earth, how it was before the silence. Centuries ago, humans had fought in every corner of the galaxy. They were feared, hated, sometimes respected. But after the collapse, Earth vanished. The planet went dark. No messages, no travel, no response. Everyone thought humanity was finished. They weren't. They had just changed. They built a line around their space, a wide buffer zone, silent and deadly. Anyone who crossed it never came back. Until now. Dan stood up and walked to a chamber deep inside the ship. Its walls were covered in old photos. Some showed Earth cities, green fields, oceans, towers of glass. Others showed soldiers in armor, standing with pride, eyes like fire. One picture showed a young girl holding a flag. Dan stared at it for a long time. She was 10 when the bombs fell, he said softly. They thought we'd never rise again. But they did. And now the galaxy had remembered why Earth was left alone. On the alien homeworld of Travax, the two surviving ships finally arrived. Both were heavily damaged. One had lost its entire command, crew. The other carried only one living soldier, shaking, burned, and barely breathing. The council summoned emergency meetings. Scientists scanned the data. Military analysts replayed the battle. Nothing made sense. No known technology moves like that. No energy readings, no communication. It was like fighting a shadow. An old general whispered, "That wasn't just a human ship. It was a warning wrapped in death." The council voted immediately. No ship would enter the death path again. Ever. But not all agreed. In the shadows, whispers grew. Powerful empires, greedy syndicates, and rival species wanted to know more. Who was this pilot? Where did he come from? Was he alone? One message repeated across pirate bands and war clans. Find the black ship. Bring me the ghost of Earth. Back on the ship, Dan's sensors picked up something new. 5 signals. Fast. Closing in. He didn't smile. He powered up the ship and said quietly, "Let's show them why the line was drawn in blood." They wanted the ghost. They got the storm. Third person, simple English, HFY style. The 5 new ships came fast, flying in tight formation. They weren't military cruisers. They were hunter ships, small, sharp, and built for ambush. The kind used by pirates and black market mercenaries. Each one had different colors, different flags, and different weapons. But they all wanted the same thing: the black ship. Inside his silent vessel, Dan watched the 5 dots on his screen. His fingers hovered above the controls, but he didn't move yet. He waited. The ships tried to jam his sensors. One of them sent a message. Unidentified. Vessel. Shut down your engines. You are under investigation. Any resistance will be considered hostile. Dan didn't respond. Another voice followed, gruff, angry, almost excited. You're the one who killed the fleet, aren't you? You made the galaxy scared. Now we're here to tear you apart and sell your ship. Dan blinked slowly. Wrong move. The moment the ships entered range, he struck. But it wasn't flashy. It wasn't loud. The black ship simply vanished from their scans. One of the pirate captains screamed, "Where did it go? It's gone off all readings." Too late. Dan's ship reappeared above the highest ship. A precise pulse of energy cracked the hull in half. The pirate vessel spun, its crew sucked into cold vacuum. The second ship tried to run. The black ship folded space again, appearing inside the pirate's path, and shredded it with precision beams. In 12 seconds, 2 ships were gone. The others broke formation and scattered. Dan didn't chase them all at once. He moved like a shadow, with a mind. He let them panic, make mistakes. One ship tried to hide behind a moon. It never saw the weapon coming. Another ship blasted all its fuel to flee into hyperspace. Dan watched it go. Then he locked a beacon onto it and whispered, "I'll visit later." The last pirate sent out a desperate message. "Please, don't fire. We surrender, please." Dan paused. He opened a comm channel and said, "Tell the galaxy this. The line was drawn to protect you, not from us, but from what we've become." Then he cut the signal and let the pirate escape. On a nearby space station, the survivor arrived, shaking and wide-eyed. The crew pulled him from his wrecked ship. He kept repeating one thing. It wasn't a man. It was the storm itself. It chose to spare me. Word spread faster than light. The ghost of Earth didn't just kill fleets. He chose who lived and died. Some called him a weapon. Others called him a warning. But one thing was now clear to everyone in the galaxy. The humans were not gone. They were awake. And they were watching. Earth's silence wasn't peace. It was preparation, third person, simple English, HFY style. For centuries, the galaxy believed Earth had gone quiet. Some thought humanity was extinct. Others believed they had turned weak, broken by wars and time. But no one had proof, until now. Now the stories spread like fire. A black ship, a silent pilot, a battle won in 50 seconds, and a message: stay behind the line. In hidden rooms across the galaxy, leaders panicked. Military commanders redrew star maps. Old archives about Earth were opened. Some were shocked to find records sealed centuries ago. Battles where entire systems had been destroyed by humans, but never recorded publicly. A young diplomat on the planet Dolaris whispered, "Why did we ever think they were gone?" No one had the answer. Meanwhile, far from the death path, in a forgotten system of dead stars, something ancient stirred. Inside a massive underground bunker buried beneath a black planet, lights flickered to life. It wasn't an alien base. It was human. Inside the bunker, cold machines hummed. Rows of cryopods stood silent. In the center of the chamber, a large console displayed one word: activated. A human voice echoed in the dark. Threat level 3 confirmed. Guardian protocol initiated. Then, one of the cryopods opened. Inside was a woman, pale skin, short hair, eyes like ice. She gasped for breath as the pod hissed open. "Name?" the system asked. She replied with a voice sharp and calm. "Commander Leia." "Mission?" She paused, then said clearly, "Reinforce the line." Elsewhere in the bunker, more cryopods began to glow. Back aboard the black ship, Dan's sensors picked it up. A ping, an Earth-based signal. The kind he hadn't seen in decades. He leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Another unit?" he whispered. "They're waking up?" He opened the encrypted signal and scanned it. The message was short. "Command active. Guardian Unit 4 online. More to follow." Dan stood, slowly. For the first time since he launched into space, he allowed himself a small smile. He wasn't alone anymore. Earth wasn't silent. It had just been waiting. In the high halls of the Galactic Council, fear turned to desperation. One leader spoke, what the others were too afraid to say. If they're coming back, we can't stop them. But it was already too late. The humans weren't invading. They were returning. The line holds because Earth stands behind it. Third person, simple English. Final part, HFY style. Commander Leia stepped out of the bunker, her boots hitting dry black soil. The dead planet was silent, but overhead, the stars watched, like old gods. Behind her, more units awakened. Other guardians like her, trained before Earth's great collapse, frozen in time until needed. And now, they were needed. The sky above shimmered. A black ship hovered just above the surface. Dan had come. He stepped out, armored suit humming low, his eyes tired but focused. The two warriors nodded at each other. No salute, no words. They understood what this meant. Earth's silence was over. Across the stars, alien empires pulled back fleets. Space stations near the death path shut down overnight. Smugglers fled. Pirates changed routes. Even the boldest species marked their star maps with a single red warning. Human zone, do not enter, but some didn't believe. A group of elite alien warlords, angry and desperate, decided to send one final message, one last challenge. They built a massive fleet, 300 ships strong, battle-tested, fully armed. Backed by centuries of technology, they aimed it straight at the path. Their goal wasn't victory. It was fear. They wanted to break the myth. Dan and Leia stood aboard the black ship. They watched the fleet approach on the screen. Hundreds of red dots. Dan whispered, "They never learn." Leia nodded. "Then we teach them. One last time." This time, it wasn't just one ship. It was 10. 9 more black vessels uncloaked from the darkness. Old Earth war machines, once hidden, now awakened. Each one piloted by a guardian like Dan and Leia. The fleet entered the path. 50 seconds later, only silence remained. No messages, no wreckage, just space, and the warning that had always been true. The death path is not a legend. It is the line, drawn by Earth. Cross it, and you won't even have time to regret it. In the far reaches of the galaxy, children would one day hear the story about how the aliens forgot the power of Earth, about the ghost ship, about the 50 seconds, and most importantly, about why peace was never weakness. It was a choice, one that humanity could take back at any moment, because in the silence of the death path, Earth still watches, Earth still remembers, and Earth never forgives.